Hello class, and welcome to Lab 5 of the Geographer's Craft. Today we are going to be working on Choropleth mapping, and we're going to take demographic data from the census, and we're going to take shapefiles also from the census tracts, and we're going to put those two into ArcMap. And once they're into ArcMap, we're going to make these nice maps right here, which are Choropleth maps. Okay, so this is just an example of the one I did. I'm from Buncombe County, North Carolina. I used median household income in Buncombe County, and I looked at the census tract. And as you can see, this map has all the necessary parts that you're going to need. It has a scale, it has a legend, and it has all the information. It's also pretty nice and neat, where you can find all that you need to relatively quickly. Now, your maps may be different because each of y'all are going to use different counties, or a lot of y'all will. So, what we're going to do first is I'm going to close this out, and we are going to go to the Fact Finder website, which is for the U.S. Census. Okay, and I don't want to use Firefox. I want to use Google Chrome instead. Okay, so here we go. Once this comes up, and I like using Google Chrome just because it's easier to use and to have all my bookmarks on it. So anyway, what this is right here is it's all of the census data from the 2000 census and from the 2010 census. And the cool thing here is what you can do is you can go to topics. There's a bunch of different things there. Shows all the different things that were looked at in the census. You can go to ethnic groups, you can go to occupation, all those things. But the first thing we need to do is we need to find the area that we're going to look at. So we're going to go to geographies, and we're going to look at census tracts since we have census data. I'm going to do North Carolina because I'm from there. Go Tar Heels. And the county that I'm going to use is going to be Buncombe, even though it looks like Buncombe. Buncombe County, that's where I was born, Asheville, North Carolina. And then I'm going to choose all census tracts within Buncombe County, North Carolina. Add your selections. And once you close this out right here, it's under your selections. Okay, so we're constantly narrowing down what we're going to look at, right? Now for this one, there's a ton of stuff you can look at, and I encourage you to look at different things as opposed to just median household income, right? Population change, poverty, there's a lot of interesting stuff. What percentage of people are on food stamps, things like that. But you also want to make sure that you choose things that can be mapped on a Choropleth map, right? So it has to be a certain range of numbers. You would have a hard time mapping ethnicity and things like that. Okay, so what I'm going to go to right here is I'm going to go to income and earnings, and in income and earnings I'm going to go to households. Okay. So, where I'm right here, as you can see, this is then popped up right here, and I'm going to type in, since I already know what I want, I'm going to type in median household income in 1999. Okay? Now, I like using this older data just because I think it's a little bit easier to use. I'm just going to show you what this looks like, right? So all you have right here is just the census tract in Buncombe County for all these different census tracts, right? And it's going to show you the median household income for all of these areas, okay? So we have that information, but before we download that, I want to show you some of the other stuff, right? So if we close this out, you can see a bunch of other stuff. Some of this is just more complicated. So if you wanted to use this data, I encourage you to, but sometimes it's kind of harder to get the information from it. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use information from 1999, which was in the 2000 census. Okay, so this is earnings over the past 12 months. It's very detailed, but it's a little more complicated than what I want to do right now. But there's lots of interesting stuff on earnings here, and on male and female, margin of error. So I encourage you to use it, but it may be a little bit more difficult. So let's go back here, median household income in 1999. Okay, so I'm going to go to this one here, median household income in 1999, dollars. Okay, so we got this here. Let's go right back, and this is selected here, And let's go to download. Okay. Now the cool thing is what it's going to do in Google Chrome is it's going to pop up right here. I'm going to show in folder. Okay, so this is the download right here, the AFF download. And I have done a bunch of these practicing for this lab. So I'm going to choose this one right here. And I'm going to go to extract files, right? So before I do that, I want to right click here and put a new folders. This is what I see right here. Sorry, you guys can't see that, but so here it is, AFF download. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit new, and I'm going to save it on my desktop just because that's easiest for me since I don't use this computer, but y'all may need to have it in a better place. Okay, so let's go back to here to this AFF download, and it's a zip file, so we're going to extract files. We're going to extract them to this lab 5 right here. Okay, so we got this now, and let's take a look at these right here. Okay, so now in our lab 5 we have all of these different interesting pieces of data right here, right? So the metadata means data about the data, and then we have this right here. So if you're wondering what certain columns are or certain rows mean, you can go to metadata and it'll tell you what the data is. So let's just go to it just for a second. So this is going to show me what each of these mean, right? So geography, VD01 means median household income. The metadata is the data about the data. Okay, so let's just close this out right here. And then the next thing we're going to do in this lab is we're going to get data from the Census website. Okay, from a different Census website that is going to have these tiger files. And again, I don't want to use that one, so I'm going to copy and paste this here, copy. I'm going to do this right here and then paste and go. Okay, so here it is right here. I had a period right after that backdash. So what I want to do here is we want to go to tiger line shapefiles and files. And then we're going to go to here to this 2010 tiger line shapefiles. And then we're going to go to download shapefiles, okay? So this is cool. So we have all these census tracts, right? And all these different things from the census data. So we take the demographic data and then we're going to combine that with these shapefiles, and we can do a lot of really cool stuff and show data spatially. Okay, so census tracts right here. Now this is important since we're using data from the 2000 census. I want to choose the census tract from the 2000 census. Okay, if we had gotten data that was for the 2010 census, we would have taken this census tract. So I go right here, submit county, Buncombe County, Buncombe County, North Carolina, where I'm from. And then here we go. So we're going to do this same thing, show in folder. This is it right here. We're going to extract the files, put them in lab 5, hit OK. Let's close this out and see if it got there. Okay. So here's my lab 5. Okay, great. So we have all of these files right here, which you should recognize as part of a shapefile. And then we have all of these here, which are these text files. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to work with Excel for just a tad. And what we always do, which is where you go to data, from text, desktop, lab 5, and then we're going to do to this one right here. Okay, so it's the larger file, not the data one. Okay. Now, as you can see, these are things that we've done before, so I'm going to fly through it. It's delimited. We're going to use a comma. Okay. This is important here. Everything we're going to do, we're going to turn each of these to a text. So all of these, not just one, all of these to the text. Okay. So finish, and here we go. And boom. Here is all the interesting data, right? So what my metadata told me just a second ago was this is the median household income, and I'm just going to do 99 because it's from 1999. And I also want to clean these up. I don't want there to be anything in between them. This messed it up earlier. So let's just do geoid right here, and let's take all these away just so it's really nice and neat and there's nothing that could trip us up, right? Okay, so here you go. We're right here. All this looks pretty good, and then let's save this as. I'm going to save this as, what are we doing? Desktop lab 5. I'm going to do buncombe underscore county underscore income. Okay, spell that one better. And this is important here too, is that when you save this, save it as a 1997 to 2003 workbook. There are times where that works and others don't. So just make sure that you save it as a 97 to 2003 workbook. That's really important. And then we're going to hit save right here. Okay, and that is all that I'm going to show you on this section of the lab. I will meet you in part 2 where we can go over the rest. Thank you.